No worries. Let's get started because we're running a little late now. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And the feet are flat on the floor if you're sitting at your desk. Shoulders are aligned with the hips and your knees about a hip's width apart. And imagine your spine is this string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine you're lengthening, expanding. Take a nice deep breath and just release any tension from the crown of the head all the way down to your feet. So just imagine everything just softening and releasing. And breathe. And then be aware if there are any sounds in your environment. So if there are, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with the mind. Try not to investigate. And then bring your attention to the mind and just notice what's arising in it. You can, take a step back and watch. Be objective. Just observe what's in your mind. Try not to follow the story or create a story. Sometimes we believe in this. We create all kinds of stories and we believe in them. So just notice what's going on in the mind there for you. And then try not to be critical of yourself. Try not to judge yourself. So just remember, however it is you're showing up tonight, it's perfectly fine. Then we can bring to mind all the people of our life. So our loved ones, the ones we don't care for so much and are strangers, and just imagine that they can all change place at any time. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. So we'll do this meditation tonight for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, there's all the sentient beings. So just think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process it's basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. We start with the power of regret. We sincerely regret from the depths of our hearts anything that we've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. We can think of specific actions of both our body and our speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we don't want to have any more future suffering. We already know what suffering's about. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering, and then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has methods that we can use to purify. And we're not looking for some higher power to kind of take all our pain away from us and relieve us. We want to do the work ourselves, because this is our mind, my mind. I have the power to change whatever is going on in there. It's totally up to me. So we take responsibility for what's going on in our mind, and also by doing that, we give ourselves power. We empower ourselves. So, but we need methods. We don't know everything. So we use the methods in the same way we would use the methods of a doctor if we were sick. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. He's also your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we have this little bit on compassion, and in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. That's why this little section is under the heading of reliance, because we're relying upon others so we can develop compassion. And then think about those who've harmed you, and especially think of those people because the harm they've caused you is going to manifest in the future, sometime down the track. There's some kind of ripening negativity for them. So think about, make a strong aspiration to do the practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, excuse me, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan, sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a humpe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And imagine there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily, very compassionately sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dino patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So be so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible you could do anything but benefit others with your speech, and this also includes yourself. Then is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch. The light in the room that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and depression and resentment and jealousy, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anurakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now comes even the purifying even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And just imagine light and nectar comes from Vajrasattva's heart and fills you completely and eradicates even those very subtle imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebowal Situkaya Mebowal Sipokaya Mebowal Anurakta Mebowal Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham. Okay. So feel now you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscuration to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come again, once again, to the power of resolve. And once again, start by rejoicing in your efforts. Just think how amazing I'm coming here night after night. And really rejoice in everybody else as well. And then think, this is a really crucial step, this one, where we make a decision to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And this decision we make, I don't want to harm. I don't want to harm. Even if you just say that, it's amazing. And it becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So think of something that you maybe would like to work on. You know, some things are easier than others. So start with something that's doable, a timeline that's doable. And think this determination to not harm or not to do something harmful gives us, you know, a little bit of strength to want to change. We almost like we make a vow to ourselves, we make a commitment to ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you can think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche used to recommend to meditate on emptiness. And emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, you can just place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think, you know, when the way things are appearing to me right now may not necessarily be the way they exist. It's because everything can change so fast, depending on what's going on inside the mind. Things look different. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this Vajrasattva practice this evening ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. All right, everybody. Good night.